Hey, what's up, everybody? I've been playing quite a bit of The Witcher. I actually restarted 3 times just to figure out exactly what's going on. The game is a little vague, and I want to go over some of the gripes that I have after playing for quite a while. First and foremost, the controls can be a bit clunky. Now, I'm playing on the Xbox One version with the controller. Apparently, they're having a lot of problems with the PC version about how it's just very difficult to do anything. So, I'm wondering if maybe the controller is the way to go for the PC. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it yet. But as far as the controls go, a few of the things that I have a problem with is getting on and off your horse can be a little odd. It's not very smooth. You'll think that you're hopping on your horse, but then you're not. You'll just stand there and wait. And then also getting off, say if you got some combat, you got to wait for your horse to slow down completely, or you got to be moving at some sort of speed to hop off quickly. It's not very fluid or intuitive. It kind of breaks up the experience a little bit. With the combat, it works well, but the targeting can be off sometimes, casting spells can be off sometimes. It seems a little random. So when you fight the Griffin, say if you fight him again, like I fought him 3 times. One time I destroyed him, and then the next time I got my ass handed to me. And it seems very random as far as when you dodge, when you don't dodge, what'll hit you, what won't, the timing. It seems like it's at times out of your control. And then for looting, the looting's a little weird. You got to be facing and next to it. If it's slightly off screen, but you're still facing it, but you're facing towards yourself, you won't loot. It won't show the icon. It gets a little funky, especially when you try to step a little bit. Sometimes it's just a little too much. It's just not very smooth as far as how far you move and how much you use the control stick. That's a little off. And then on top of that, sometimes they'll put a candle right on top of your loot. So then instead of looting, you'll light the candle. I don't know why they put all these candles and all these campfires in the game. Unless it's for like some achievement where you light every single goddamn one. That would fucking blow my mind if it was. But, for the extremely hardcore, that'd be great, I guess. But the looting's a little funky. So when you want to quickly loot an area, you can't. And then say if there's something a little ways away or a bunch of flowers, you got to run up, slow down. And then your character has a deceleration animation. Then you loot and then you got to speed back up. It's not very good for quickly looting areas. And then swimming is a atrocity at first. It does take a little getting used to, and then on top of that, once you do get used to it, it still doesn't seem right. The diving, the flipping when you stop and then you try to move forward, you'll do a little roll, so it stalls you for a little bit. On top of all this, you got a breath meter, of course, so you want to do things quickly. But everything about the underwater controls makes it so that it is very cumbersome to do anything. And then when you try to swim to the surface, it seems like Geralt has a very hard time just swimming upwards. Like he'll stall out. It's really weird. I always get hung up, and it's just that I wish they refined it a little more to make it a smoother experience for the controls. Overall, it works well though. I'm not saying that it's completely broken. It's just little things that just kind of irk you when you're trying to do things and then trying to move on, and then you just get hung up, or your horse is just when you try to move it and then you call for it, it gets hung up underneath a hut or something. You can't get out, then you got to run away and then call it again. It's a little funky. My second thing is the loot. When you loot, it's quite vague. You'll pick up so much crap in this game that you do not need in the beginning of the game. I mean, just full bags full of crap, and you don't know what to do with it. Do I keep it? Do I sell it? I mean, as you play the game, you will kind of understand how everything goes and what you want to keep and don't keep. But initially, you have not a damn clue. Do I keep the books? Do I keep the letters? What the hell is master, relic, magic? What do they pertain to? And then you have so much of it, and you only use like a small percentage of it to make anything. So do I sell it? Do I keep it? Will I want it? The main thing about selling a lot of this stuff is that you'll sell it for such a low price, and then if you have to buy it again, you lose a lot of money when you do it. So of course you want to keep it. So you got to find that balance, and I'll make another video about how I play. That's the reason why I played so many times, is to figure out where that nice balance is, the way I want to play, where I make enough money, but then I have all the loot to make other things, so I don't lose out. So overall, it's just like an efficient way of looting without overflowing my bags, getting all the money that I can. But that's besides the point. I wish they had a little bit better explanation, or they just didn't hook you up with so much fucking loot that you don't need until later on in the game. I mean, you'll play for hours picking up all this crap, and you'll only use small amounts of it unless you go crazy, but then it costs so much to make all this gear early on in the game that you'll break your bank, and then the vendors only got so much money. You see, it's very complex. And Yeah, the books and letters, as far as I know, you could get rid of the letters. Just make sure to read everything in case there's something like bestiary or a quest or something you might need to know. You might want to read through the letter. But as far as letters go, I just sell those. And as far as books go, I've heard that there's a vendor that gives you a great price on books. So you can make quite a bit of crowns off of those books. And they don't weigh very much, but they do get cluttersome. So I get rid of the letters and then keep the books. Now the vendors, they don't have enough crowns, really. They don't. 160, 180, 200, at least in the beginning. That's just not enough. And then on top of that, the regen, a small amount of that, about half of it, so slow that it's not worth it to sit there and wait and wait and wait, and then only for 80, then you sell a little bit more and wait and wait and wait. And that might be the developers want you to buy stuff off of them, but that ties right back into what the hell do you buy? Do I buy Magic, Master, anything like that? And some of that shit's so expensive, that's half your money or all your money right there. So then you got to sell stuff that isn't worth that much. So it's kind of weird. So you don't want to know what you want to load up on, what you don't want to load up on. And then once the game opens up after that first act, then you start hooking up with all kinds of crap, all kinds of alcohol for, making, replenishing your stocks of potions and oils and all that, and bombs. And there's another problem is when you meditate, you replenish all that, but if you don't play on hardcore or hard or insane or whatever the hell they want to call it, I forget all the names. Playing on medium, you'll just of course rest whenever you need life, but then it'll automatically replenish. Use one of your oils, and it doesn't matter how much you need to replenish. It'll be a one bomb or everything. It'll use one of your alcohols. So they should have had an option to yes or no if you want to use it or not, because it doesn't really matter. Later on in the game, you don't get any health, so there's the only reason why to meditate, or meditate, is to replenish that, so you know when you want to and know when you don't. But when you're playing on normal, you'll be blowing through potions. But of course, you get a crap ton after a certain point, and that's pretty much all my gripes for the game. The game looks great, everything. I'm not saying it's a bad game at all. It's one of the best games to come out in quite a while. Very fun, very involving. But my last final gripe is that Geralt can be a little annoying. Like, say you're on you're gathering clues, and he's just talking about all kinds of stuff, just back to back. It's just, you think that something, it'd be internal dialogue. No, he just has to say it all, like, oh, bloody footprints, oh, this and that, and you're going through all these different clues, like 10 different clues, and it's just pretty soon you're like, it's all right, buddy. Maybe you could just show like a dialogue box in the bottom or something, just to break it up so you don't have to hear him talking and talking, because you're going to listen to him throughout the whole game, and the cutscenes are great, but for specific moments you're like, yeah, you kind of keep it down there, bro. But otherwise, that's overall what I have for the game. Just those gripes so far. As I get through more of the game, I'll probably put up more, but like I said, these are just somewhat minor cons, except for the controls could be reworked. Hopefully they do something about that. These are some of the minor cons. Overall, to a great game. I'm still playing it. If it was that bad, I would just drop it like a sack of potatoes. But I do want to get through it, and it is very fun, and the world really brings you in. The story's very well done. The voiceovers, everything, the character interactions. It's a great game, but I just wish they ironed out a few of these things a little better. Anyway, alright, well, thanks a lot for watching. This is Dreads Escape, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.